Hey team, welcome back to Dukes on Twitch. Here today with Green White Depths. This is a list that Matt Volk has been doing really well with, Ozymandias, and it's a sweet deck. This is a deck that I first was introduced to during the Ren and 6 era, where a few players picked up the deck with a build with cards like Tomic and Giver of Runes as ways to punish the metagame of Wastelands and Wrens and have a quick win with Dark Depths, which is pretty cool. This, of course, is a little bit like Maverick. It does have a Green Sun Zenith package, but obviously it's a lot smaller. Part of the Green Suns package, we have Dried Arbor, which is really nice, just to accelerate with. We have Elvish Reclaimer, which is really nice in this deck. Obviously, our combo is in our mana base, and we do have some little tricks and tips with cards like Flagstones of Trocare, which if we sacrifice to Elvish Reclaimer, we actually get 2 lands out of it, which is really nice. Flagstone's also quite nice because Crop Rotation is obviously a high risk, high reward card against blue decks, where a counter spell can kind of blow it out if you are losing a land. But if you are sacrificing Flagstones, then there is a little bit of room there for you to, I guess, make the 2-for-1 a little worse. It becomes a 1-for-1, which is kind of nice. Elvish Reclaimer is a 4-of in the deck. Sylvan Safekeeper is the other 1-drop, which is really cool in this deck. Again, with Flagstones, has some nice synergy, I guess, in that Flagstones kind of gives you a free activation of Sylvan Safekeeper. Safekeeper really nice in this deck because it gives protection from Karakas, which is probably the biggest concern. And then, of course, things like Swords to Plowshares, Submerge, other cards like that. To the 3-drops, we have 1 Endurance main deck. Just a really good card against decks like Delver. It's obviously really good against graveyard decks. And as a 3/4 flash reach creature, it's actually just quite good against midrange and control decks, as just a way to make sure that they stay below 20 life. Some of the decks running cards like Uro do have the ability to get above 20 life fairly easily, which makes you kind of have to attack twice with Dark Depths. So it is nice to have a bit of a mid-range plan in this deck and just multiple ways to actually get damage in instead of just through your Marit Lage. Ramanap, really good. We do have the Wasteland lock in this deck, which is really nice. It means that after we actually go for the kill with Thespian Station Dark Depths, we can try to rebuild and use the graveyard as a resource, which is really good. It also means that if we sacrifice something early, like a step, we can still bring it back, which is really well. Yeah, 2 steps I would say is pretty stock in Green White these days. Rodrigo Togores, Ozymandias, all play 2. It's a pretty nice upside, and I assume it's because we don't have the hand disruption that the Black Splash has, so you do want more ways to protect because you're not too sure what's going to be coming. So yeah, the second step is really nice. I think it's great tech because I think a lot of people do still think that a lot of depth decks only play the 1 step as a crop rotation target, so having the second one is really nice. And then we also have, to run out, another Reliquary. So the one thing that I like about Green White Depths is that it's both a combo deck in the Dark Depths package, but also just a mid-range deck. So you can play it as a mid-range deck that has a combo finish, a little bit like Food Chain. Or you can play it as a combo deck, and if that doesn't work, you then have the mid-range package of Elvish Reclaimers and Knights to actually finish off your opponent. And it can be awkward because your opponent could use the early Swords to Plowshares on your Reclaimers and Knights and then not have something for the Dark Depths later on. So that's pretty key. We're also playing the 3 Sylvan Libraries, which I really like. A little bit tough against some of the Delver decks that might just be really aggressive and kind of go under you. But Ozyman has made a pretty cool change here by playing 2 Prismatic Endings in the main deck as well. A card that I really like. We can get up to, I guess Mox Diamond does give us access to at least a 3rd color. And then Bojuka Bog and Thespian Stage give us access to other colors if our opponents are playing other lands, which is cool. Prismatic Ending, just a really good card. It makes sure that we can get rid of anything from an early aggressive creature like a Ragavan or a Delver, protection in Mother of Runes, some sort of board building strategy like Aether Vial. It can give us some play against combo decks, especially if they see some of our cards and think we're on a Thalia deck. A lot of combo decks will then play out their Lotus Petals or LEDs a little bit earlier than they want to go off, just to play around the Thalia attack. So sometimes Prismatic Ending can be pretty huge there. Just a really awesome card. The flexibility is fantastic. I've really enjoyed it in testing. I believe I was playing 2-side, but playing 2 main, 2-side is really nice here. It just gives us a lot of leverage around what we can actually deal with. Because Prismatic Ending, dealing with anything from Sylvan Library to Fairy to Aether Vial to a creature is just pretty phenomenal. By playing the 4 Prismatic Endings, you're not playing Path to Exile, which I know Rodrigo Torgueras is a big fan of, which does give you less outs to cards like Mucktide Regent, I believe the card is, or big creatures like that. So there are definitely pros and cons of playing Prismatic Ending over Path to Exile, especially in the board, but I'm a huge fan of it, so I'm pretty keen to see how 4 go. To the board, the only change that I made was actually add a 3rd Deafening Silence over the 3rd Choke, and that's just a personal preference. I think Deafening Silence is great against combo decks, and that's a deck that, or at least an archetype that Green-White Depths can have a bit of an issue with. So making sure that Deafening Silence is in my opening hand is kind of what I want to be doing in those games 2s and 3s. So hopefully that's okay. Hey Tagores, very cool to have you here. Obviously someone who has done very well with Depths recently. The Endurances are the only other graveyard hate out of the sideboard. We don't have anything like Leyline or any sort of like Relic effects or Tormod's Crypt, so we don't have a way to keep the graveyard off with a static effect, but we do have ways to interact with it at instant speed. So Bojuka Bog off Crop Rotation or a creature, and then of course Endurance. So hopefully that's okay. But it should be pretty fun. Obviously, the last card that I want to talk about is Yavimaya, which has been a pretty huge printing for the deck. It really speeds it up, and I think by nearly a turn, which is great because it allows things like Yavimaya into Dark Depths into Stage, is just the combo. It also allows something like Mox Diamond turn 1 with Yavimaya, and then turn 2 Dark Depths with Crop Rotation, allows you to float 2 mana, or float 3 green mana with Mox, crop away the Yavimaya, and then get Stage to copy Dark Depths, which is really cool. So that should be pretty sweet. Hey Guardian, welcome. Let's see how it goes. I'm pretty keen to get into a league and just fire things off. We are playing a league with play points. In-game. Nice. Very cool. Nice. I just got some cool altars the other day from Kai Sawatari, which is very cool. We have a, I wonder if I can get lighting on this. A Green Sun Zenith Forest, a Knight of the Reliquary Statue Plains, and a Knight of the Reliquary Head Statue Plains, which is pretty sweet. I've always wanted altered basics for Maverick, and these German FBBs are really nice. So big shout out to Kai. Really, really cool. All right, on the play, which is fantastic. Interesting hand. The Mox right now isn't actually that great. We have a turn 1 Reclaimer, and then turn 2 we can just hold it up. This is pretty much a 6. Yeah, the Saga Bills look really interesting. Just haven't gotten around to testing them out. This does have a bit of everything. It doesn't have either piece of the combo, but it does have them in Elvish Reclaimer and Knight. I probably don't mind this. If we draw a land, we can turn 2 Knight, which is pretty nice. Yeah, I think it's pretty good. I think as a 6 I'll definitely keep it, so I don't really want to mulligan just to find a 6 that's pretty similar. But pretty happy just to go Savannah into Reclaimer. Hey Jimmy. Welcome. Yeah. To be fair, I guess like a 3rd land would be really nice, but we have a pretty high chance of drawing that, so... Opponent went to 6 as well. I don't want to show the Mox just yet. Swamp. Okay. Second Knight is pretty interesting. So here I either have the option of Green Suns for Dried Arbor to get a Knight online, or Green Suns for Reclaimer. I don't mind Green Suns for Reclaimer. But it's definitely interesting because if I don't draw a land, then I'm not doing too much in my turn unless I can just... I can hold up Reclaimer. Not the greatest without Flagstones. I think I am okay with going for Dried Arbor here, just because Knights already act a little bit like Reclaimer, that I'd rather just make sure I'm hitting my land drops. But I wonder if this is going to be some sort of Dead Guy Ale? No. Maybe Ninjas. Fatal Push, Basic, Swamp, Basic, Island definitely makes me think this is some sort of mid-range deck. That's pretty nice. I guess there is a thought there to use the Mox Diamond instead of playing the Savannah. But the extra land is nice because it means it's one more land I can sack to another Reliquary if I am wanting to go and get just the Duck Depths over 2 turns. Opponent forces down to 3, pitching Force Negation. I guess Mox Diamond does give me access to a 3rd color for Prismatic Ending, which is pretty huge. Endurance is nice, but... happy to get the 1 in. If this is some sort of bug deck, I do want to get my opponent below 17, so the Uro isn't a factor. Reclaimer. Probably don't mind just Reclaimer here, hold up Endurance and Knight. There's also a thought of keeping my opponent off that Underground Sea. But I also don't mind just over a few turns going for the combo instead of trying to attack their mana. I don't think this is a Muck-Tide deck. But if it was, there's definitely a thought of just Endurancing here to take them off the graveyard. I actually don't mind that. I'm not doing anything else with my mana, and getting the Endurance into play is pretty nice. Forest, okay, so it is going to be Bug. Huh. Uro. Okay, that's gonna be fine. This wasn't up to 20, which isn't the worst. Because now we get to just kind of go for it. Get Thespian stage first. Probably just stacking the Dryad Arbor. I don't mind the Dryad Arbor just because it is an extra blocker. Attacker, sorry. And creature in case they make me start. I don't think it's going to be relevant, thankfully. Okay, well that can just happen. So we have access to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 mana. I can trade the Savannah away for a... Sorry, 4 mana. I'm just thinking if I want to put Yavimaya into play to somehow hold up Reclaimer as well. Yeah, okay. I can actually go for Elvish Reclaimer first, get Yavimaya, and then I can hold up with Knight, which is pretty sweet. So I need 2 mana. And then 1. So I can attack with the Dryad up here, but I don't think it's that there's any reason to. So I might as well do everything in upkeep. I guess I can also play around Wasteland. Just trying to think about what I want to play around. Because if I trade 2 mana for Yavimaya, I then have 3 mana to make the 20/20. And then I also have Knight activation for Step. So I think here, just to play around Wasteland, I'm pretty happy to make this an upkeep. So we can sack. Doesn't really matter. Go for Yav. Now. Copy Dark Depths. Keep this one. Jace is probably the only concern, but even Jace isn't the worst because we do have the Step. Something like Ice Fang isn't bad. They're playing Sylvan Library out, so they obviously think they have an out. Interesting. I guess they could have Endurance. Huh. So I think just to turn off Endurance, I might just sack this straight away. What do I want to get? To take them off any sort of double green effect, so they can't have Endurance up. I also don't want to show them Bog, so I'm just going to go and get another stage. Could be Ice Fang, but yeah, we do have protection with Step anyway. We have protection from like Brazen Borrower, so I think the only thing they could have had is perhaps, yeah, Endurance doesn't do it either. Tough one. Sideboarding is going to be interesting. So out of Bug from the board, I'm going to assume Submerge might be a card, but we do have the Sylvan Safekeeper. I don't think they'd be bringing in anything like Plague Engineer. I like the Chokes. I don't mind taking out a sword for another Prismatic Ending, seeing the Sylvan Library. That's probably it. I think everything else kind of has its place. It could even just be 2 and 2. Yeah, just the chokes. We didn't see too much. We saw Sylvan Library, Uro, Fatal Push, Brainstorm. So it definitely feels like some sort of mid-range deck, which luckily I think we have a pretty good time against, especially with the 3 libraries. But definitely makes you think. Hope you're all well. Hope you are doing well with the current situation, of course, with COVID. Thankfully, Australia got out pretty easy, but still some things to crack down on. Okay. This is a pretty nice hand. We have a turn 2 choke. We have 1 pace to the combo. We have crop. Pretty happy to keep this. Is Submerge only in sideboard for depths? It can be there for a bunch of things. It's obviously quite good against Maverick. A lot of depths decks that aren't green-white can usually play around Submerge, which is nice. Any sort of Endurance or Uro deck, it's pretty good. Just to buy some time even for Delver players. I assume Endurance is a pretty big issue for Delver players, so I know some have been moving towards Dismember. Submerge only gives you a little bit of time. So they cast Ponder off a basic island. Chose not to shuffle. Ramanap. Okay. I don't mind Savannah into Green Suns for Dried Arbor here. Means we definitely have open choke on turn 2. And to tap them off this island would be pretty huge. Could also step pass. Yeah, I don't mind building up my mana. And not showing the mocks just yet. I do believe my opponent's on a Daze deck, so I don't want to play out the mocks. Just to try to get that Green Suns away. I could play the mocks to hold up crop rotation if they want to be aggressive on the Dried Arbor, but they're not going to be, so... Now I don't mind Green Suns for a Claimer, and then probably just play the step tapped. I could potentially get Sylvan's Safekeeper, but I think Reclaimer here is fine. Step, target, see if they have anything. It looks like they don't. We can just name black to stop Fatal Push on our turn. Just pass back. Would love to see like a Trop here and then a tap, but we're not going to see that. Dead of Winter. Sure. Stage is a really nice pickup here because it allows us to both move towards the combo but also play out choke here. Wow. Huge. Really nice. Wow, and Safekeeper? Oh, okay. What if I crop for Yavimaya, and that gives me access to depths with Sylvan Safekeeper? I don't mind that. I could also play it a little bit slow, play out Ramanap, get back Dryad Arbor. But I think crop for Yavimaya, play Dark Depths, have 4 mana open, use 1 of it for Sylvan Safekeeper, and then still have 3 for the combo, is pretty good, because then we have 2 uses of Sylvan Safekeeper. And if this doesn't work, we still have a few plays. I do want to do what I did last time and just play around Wasteland again. And they have nothing. Interesting. Yeah, I could definitely see the Ramanap line. I just really liked making sure, like putting the pressure on my opponent to actually have an out, or else if we untap and draw any land, we can play the Mox, play the Ramanap, and then just start making it back, so... Definitely some advantages both ways. But yeah, getting that combo together. Yavimaya there, just a huge bonus. Really nice. I guess it would have been tough if we played Mox, pitch, Dark Depths, and then played Ramanap to get back Mox, and they force the Ramanap. But then we still have the crop, which is pretty good. Alright, up against FGC. We have a double Mox hand. With one piece of the combo, so I don't mind that. We also have some pretty good creatures to start churning out, so... This is a hand. The issue is that the second Mox is kind of dead. I definitely want to have lands in play for Ramanap. Best draw is just a land. We don't even have to deploy the Moxes on turn 1. I guess a fetch land would turn Elvish Reclaimer online as a 3/4 straight away, which is kind of cool. I'm going to see how this goes. Could be a little bit awkward, but I'm pretty happy to keep trying out new hands with this deck. Island, okay. Ponder, alright. Fetch also gets us a turn 1 Knight, which is pretty sweet. Island into Ponder, and it's going to be a no shuff. Reclaimer. Okay. I'm going to cast a Moxia into Daze, because I'd love for one to get dazed. We don't really care about the second Mox anyway. Damn it. It's probably just Bog here that I drop and then play the stage. I think I just want to turn the Thespian stage into a Flagstones if I get a chance. Plains. Okay, so some sort of blue-white control deck, most likely. Prismatic Ending. Okay. Savannah. Okay. So I could hold up. I could play Knight here. I could also hold up Endurance. Both don't play well into a Teferi. but I think just getting Knight down is pretty strong. Oh no! Ah, classic. I was even telling myself, don't play Reclaimer here because I want to make use of all my mana, but that is just something we will have to accept and move along with. Classic. Well, I guess best case is Reclaimer gets hit with the Sword Splashes here. Okay, that's not too bad because I'd rather that get hit than the Knight. Okay, that's pretty good as well. I don't mind taking the time here to get this Knight into play and then go from there. Because I'd hate to lose both those lands, gain 20 life, but then not draw into a land. I just don't think I'm in a position where I could recover that quickly if I did lose the 2020. So having the Knight up is really nice. No Terminus. I know a few of the banned control decks have moved away from Terminus and towards engineered explosives, which is pretty interesting. Both cards get hit by Gaddock Teeg, which is kind of cool, and so does Prismatic Ending. So Gaddock Teeg, I feel, is a little bit harder for a lot of these decks to deal with than it was before, especially those not playing Karakas. They put a Mentor into the bin. Bauble, sure. Have they found another land? It doesn't look like it. Okay, there we go. And just to pass. So if I was really scared of Wasteland here, of Terminus here, I could Wasteland this Scalding Tarn in response to the Bauble trigger to force them to shuffle, because otherwise they wouldn't have a white source to Terminus. But I think I'm pretty happy just allowing this to resolve here if it is Terminus. I only lose the Knight, which isn't the worst. Huh, okay, nothing. Well, I guess we just passed back. Snapcaster is always a card I'm going to think about when I'm thinking about what I should be worrying about, but there is currently a Sword to Plowshares. Okay. Teferi is going to be fine. They're going to try to bounce the Knight. I wonder if here I'm happy actually just stepping my own Knight to stop them from drawing for the Teferi, and then attacking it next turn. I should have also just hard cast the Endurance in response to Teferi. That was a wrong decision. Should have definitely cast the Endurance. It meant I could attack the Teferi next turn and still hold up the Knight. But I think here I will actually try to protect the Knight here. Gonna get pro white because it also turns off Swords to Plowshares. I did have the chance to make the 2020 there, but I wasn't comfortable not having protection. Green Suns, does that change things? Yes, it does. means we can get step. It means we can get a... Sorry. Sylvan Safekeeper. Force negation. Okay. So now I have a few options. I can hit the Teferi. I can go and get Yavimaya and cast Endurance in my turn to shuffle their library. Hey Vegeta, welcome. I don't mind hitting the Teferi. I don't think my opponent has Source to Plowshares right now. Ah, what forest do I stack? That's a good question. Yeah, okay, that actually turns off a lot of my lines. Yeah, no plains or forest. I think, yeah, one key misplay I made was not casting the Endurance in response to Teferi. Green. The plan was Green Sun's first Safekeeper, and then we get to hold up... Well, I thought we could hold up sack for Yavimaya, but we have nothing to sack, which is a little bit rough. This feels like a prismatic ending. Savine's Reclamation. We even had the Endurance, but we can't cast it, of course. That's fine. Hey, Echo. Yeah, it could definitely been better to do that. Crop Rot. Okay. Hey Martin, a huge thank you. Glad to see you in chat. So I can't hold up Crop at instant speed, but I can just redeploy Knight here, which I don't mind. There is a world where I also just want to take them off their graveyard. And just Endurance now to take them off Savine's, get back Mentor and land. Which isn't the greatest, but also taking them off that Swords and Prismatic Ending in the bin is pretty nice if they do have Snapcast Mage, which I assume is at least a 1 of in the 75. Interesting, they're fetching in response. Interesting that they fetched in response, because then they don't get to shuffle everything back. And I think a lot of those things you do want. Hey Ari, welcome. I hope you're doing well. Depths Mill. Haha. Okay, they find the swords. That's fine. Savannah. I do like playing that instead of playing the Mox Diamond because it is a forest and plains. And then it's passing with the combo up. Counterbalance is fine. I can only assume they have a removal spell here, but I kind of just have to go for it. I think it's kind of go for it and then concede. They're just a bit too far ahead. But even Prismatic Ending here isn't out. They have a lot of outs, unfortunately. That's interesting. I think we attack first. Yeah. Get back Ramanap. All really coming back to that endurance and not casting it in response to Teferi. So definitely some good learnings from this game. Will they show a different 3? Ponder, okay. I don't mind us getting backstage here. I don't know if I have to bog my opponent. I'd actually like to see them play Snapcaster Mage. Ah, Mystic Sanctuary. That's a good reason to bog. Definitely some little things. Reclaimer. Alright, we will concede to that. This is going to be an interesting one. I like the Gaddock Teeg. I like the chokes. I don't mind cutting down on probably most Swords to Plowshares. Another Prismatic Ending is pretty nice. Yeah, Gaddock Teeg quite nice. It turns off Prismatic Ending. It turns off Terminus or Supreme Verdict if they play that. Turns off Engineered Explosives. Turns off Jace. Force of Will, a few good things, especially like Safekeeper into T can be quite hard to beat. What do I want to drop? That's the big one. I don't mind dropping some amount of crop rotations. I hope that the ending Teeg dis synergy doesn't come up, but you like Force of Will to Gorez? Yeah, maybe back to basics is a consideration. Sylvan Library is definitely something. -3 rocks and a waste. Interesting. I guess because we have the flagstones, maybe crop isn't that bad. Alright, I'll definitely take your changes on board. Maybe endurance? Something like this? Hey Julian, welcome. Hope you're well. Back to basics and Jace. Yeah, that's very true. Okay. I don't mind this split. This is quite nice. Yeah, I'm trying to think what endurance is. Like, is endurance better than Knight number 4? I don't mind Ramanap, but maybe Ramanap's not really want to be just because Wasteland isn't as great, but getting lands back from the grave is pretty nice, just to kind of keep going wide. Teeg does turn off a fair bit of the deck, but hopefully we use those cards before the Teeg comes into play. I'm going to see how this 60 goes. You prefer to have endurance over ending? Ramanap is OP, yeah. Okay, let's go with that. Oz is not too bad. A pretty fair hand. In game 1, I'll definitely keep it in the blind, but I still think it's reasonable. We have a lot of redundancy to spot removal, which is kind of nice. We also have a Scrubblin in the deck, but no black cards. So I definitely, I actually took this list and added the Scrubland without even thinking. I was playing Plague Engineer in my previous version. Yavimaya Elvish Reclaimer gives them green, which isn't the greatest. I think we will just fetch for basic forest. I don't mind that. I guess Scrubland does make Prismatic Ending a little bit more reliable of fetch lands for 3. Okay. I guess if we really wanted to, we could just have Depths up next turn. Because we can sack the forest for stage. But then we don't have protection. Oh, my bad. My bad. Yep. I know what I did there. You didn't have to say anything. I know what I did. Meant to get rid of the forest. Because Yavimaya, Dark Depths, and Stage is the combo. But I am pretty happy to play the second Reclaimer here. Flagstone saves it a little bit, but obviously tough. These misclicks tonight have not been fun. Apologies, apologies. Interesting, double island. Mentor is going to be fine. Because we get to get basic Plains and Yavimaya from here. And then we can untap with 4 mana and play Dark Depths for 5 mana. Which means we have open Dark Depths and Step, which is pretty sweet. And 2 basics in play to play a little bit around back to basics. I guess there is a world where Savannah's actually correct there because I am going to sack it anyway to Step most likely. Yeah, I just got to think about these plays a little bit more before I do them. Oh. Well. How about that? The question is, do I want to show the depths before I choke? The only reason I do is that depths is a card that I can tap to cast choke and then not really care if they force choke, untap back to basics. I think I'm okay just tapping like this, to be fair. Force negation, sure. Yeah, I wasn't sure if I wanted to attack or not. That's the big one. Because if the choke resolved, I might have just wanted to... If the choke didn't resolve, I might just want to hold up 2 mana here. But I can trade a Mentor here. I actually don't mind the attack. My only thought was maybe attacking with just 1 Reclaimer to hold up the other step, but I kind of want it for the Dark Depths, so... Okay. Yeah, maybe there's a world here. They attack for 9, put me to 10. Maybe I just have to make the Dark Depths to block the Mentor. Way too quick. 3 mana. Okay, so I do have Dryad Arbor and Reclaimer as blockers here, which isn't too bad. I could go for it now, but I'd rather untap with Reclaimer and have open second step. Yeah, so I get to untap, and I do get to cast Knight, which is pretty nice. I don't want to get Dryad Arbor. Oh, the second step! That really changes things, unfortunately. Yikes. The one card I didn't want to draw. Hey Star Fox, welcome. Yeah, I don't think I have a way out of this. Rough. Drawing the step is definitely not where I want to be, but that is magic. My only thought was fetching for Dryad Arbor. Maybe it was just correct, but there's definitely no way of knowing that the second step is on top. I could step, yeah, Reclaimer to try and get the Teferi, but then they swing back for lethal. That's the tough part. And I don't want to attack before I cast the Knight, because if I attack, kill the Teferi, and then they counter the Knight, I don't have anything, which is tough. They had Swords and Teferi, so I assume they had at least one of those when they had the turn that I had the choke line. But definitely tough, because choke is obviously great, but it also is quite nice if it is going to tap my opponent off 2 blue, which does slow down the Mentor. It's a tough position. But blue-white is always going to be pretty dominant against green-white decks. Just a fact. Maybe the third choke is worth it. Tough. Little things to work on for sure. Luckily, where I am, we have Paper Magic back, which is really cool. So we have Legacy once a week. We play Australian 7-point Highlander, which is pretty cool. It's an Eternal format. It's a Singleton format, which you can find out more here. Up against Sakuragari. This is a great hand. Turn 1 Reclaimer and then turn 2 Sylvan Library, or turn 2 Hold Up Reclaimer, depending what my opponent's on. Pretty happy about this. Yeah, Blue-White X, Doomsday, Omni, and Storm definitely seem pretty tough. To Binder, you have your first F&M tomorrow. For the first time since like a year. Very cool to hear. Opponent goes to 6. Tomb. Okay. Ah. Okay. Dice Factory. We don't have Collector Oof in the main deck. I think I'm happy to play Sylvan Library here rather than hold up Elvish Reclaimer. Just to start digging, because digging into a Wasteland would be nice, digging into a Mox Diamond would be really nice. Khan is pretty strong. Wonder what Khan gets here. Maybe liquid metal coating? Pithing Needle perhaps for Wasteland? Ensnaring Bridge, okay. Crop Rot is pretty nice because it turns on... Okay, that's pretty good. We're just paying 10. We're just paying 8 here, let's be honest. I kind of just want to kill the Khan here. So we can play Flagstones and crop it away for stage and then play Knight as well. I think that's what I want to do. Flagstones, float, crop this away. Go and get the other Savannah. Maybe Wasteland. Actually, yeah, Wasteland's pretty good here. Yeah. Yeah, I had Knight of Autumn, but Matt didn't, so I took it out. Question is Wasteland better here than anything else? If I can keep my opponent off... What are we doing if we let the... If we let it resolve, we have Prismatic Ending as the only out. I can definitely get Scrub It at any point, especially seeing that we have Reclaimer and Knight, which is nice. I guess I could just Green Suns for another Reclaimer instead of playing Knight. I actually don't mind that. But yeah, that's very true. Wasteland and Reclaimer is pretty strong if I can keep my opponent off actual artifact mana. But that's going to be tough. Everflowing Chalice taps for 1. Taps for nothing, taps for 1. Yeah. Yeah, okay. I think the plan is going to be Knight into Wasteland with Ramanap. I can't Knight and Waste, unfortunately. Core Tap is not too bad because we do have the Swords to Plowshares. And now we get to, hopefully... Ah, they play the bridge now. Okay. That is fine. Just thinking about what mana I want to get. Opponent has 2 cards in hand. Don't mind getting flagstones. Yeah, I can get black for ending down the track. I don't need it right now. I think I have to swords the core tapper here, which is tough. So I have to... I guess we can get back the Windswept Teeth. Yeah, okay. We can go and get the Scrubland. Go and get Ramanap. Play the Windswept Heath. Wasteland the Ancient Tomb. Swords this. There's definitely ways out of this. Even something like setting up a board where I can get a bunch of Elvish Reclaimers in play as 1/2s, and then have a world where I can attack with those and then wasteland myself. I guess I have to worry about a Walking Ballista, so I don't want to go too low. Another Khan. Interesting. Exile the other? Okay, well I'll exile this. Meant to exile that. Alright. Stage. Grim's gonna be pretty good. Forge. Manifold's pretty good, especially with Mystic Forge and Grim. What does the meta look like in 7-Point Highlander? It is a little bit different depending on where you're playing. In Brisbane, there's a lot of Slush Puppy, which I think if you Google like Slush Puppy 7-Point Highlander or on moxfield.com, look at 7-Point, you'll find it. A local player, a Melbourne player, I believe, with Mud. It was either Mud or Black Red. I believe it was actually Mud who won against Black Red in the finals, which is very cool. All right. Come on, Prismatic Ending. Yeah, Slush is a really powerful deck. Pretty hard to really attack. It's got a lot of different angles, which is cool. There's Ballista. Why'd they put it in the bin? What are they doing here? Khan is pretty good. Can they lattice us here? Rings of Bright Earth. Okay. Ah, they can go infinite. Okay. I'm just going to quickly bog them to take out that Walking Ballista and then 6. So I don't think I have anything else to do this turn. I just want the shuffle effect. But I do want to see what their other win con is. Because in the past I've only seen one Ballista main deck, but maybe they're playing 2. Another Khan, that's okay. Into Lattice, I guess? Lattice does it. Or just Walking Ballista from the board. Okay. Tough. Forces are great. Khan's pretty good. Collector Oof. I think Swords can just come out. Deafening Silence is interesting just to really slow them down. So is Prismatic Ending. I actually like Prismatic Endings over the Swords. I think Caracas can just come out and most likely Bog. I don't mind dropping Endurance. I don't know if I have to really worry about the Deafening Silences. Yeah, Step doesn't do a whole lot. Maybe something like this. I don't want to overboard though. I actually could see. Yeah, I'm not too sure what they would have for Dark Depths that Safekeeper actually does anything against. I guess the only good thing about Safekeeper is... Yeah, I can't think of a reason to keep that. Maybe it is just silence. I just don't want to go down on too many lands because of Mox Diamonds, but maybe this is actually a matchup where I want to trim on Moxes. Especially white sources as well. Hey, Keanu. How do I want to board here? Haha, the full face. I'll keep the scrubland. Might just keep one and go down on one library. As nice as library is. This is probably okay. We can either... It's a little bit awkward with the mana, but we can either turn 1 for Dried Arbor, and then turn 2 if we draw a land, we can go for Collect to Oof, or we can just play turn 1 Deafening Silence. I think turn 1 Deafening Silence, turn 2 Green Suns for Arbor, step tapped, and then turn 3 we can go for Collect to Oof. That covers kind of everything. Turn 1, turn 2, turn 3, and then turn 4 library to actually find a threat and way to win. Opponent with 6 cards. What if my opponent plays Graft Cage? I guess Graft Cage stops Mystic Forge, I believe. Does this deck play like more like Green Black Depths or Maverick? It's really up to you, which is kind of nice. You can play it as a mid-range deck with a combo finish. You could also play it as a combo deck with a mid-range finish. I would say it's a little bit slower than Green Black, but it also can be a little bit quicker than Maverick, so it's got a nice in between. Key's gonna be fine. Stage, okay. Okay. Another Saga's gonna be fine. I think he would just make the Dark Depths to play around Pithing Needle from the Saga. What tier is Maverick? Oh. Actually, Matt Vuk made a good tweet the other day and put it in tier C, which I guess tier 3. I would say it's on the cusp of tier 2, tier 3, currently. Could also Teeg here, but I'd rather just hold up the combo. Ah, the name Thespian Stage? Ah, okay. Yeah, okay. Didn't see that. Thank you. Haha. Classic. Okay. Then what we want to do is Library and Teeg. But of course, one spell a turn. I didn't even see that. I didn't even see that, and I should have. Teeg actually might not even be the best card to get because of cards like Force of Vigor being what I really need here. I didn't even take the Spyglass into consideration. That's just terrible. Pretty good. Yikes. I just don't think there's a way out of that, unfortunately. Just really... Yeah. I didn't even take the Spyglass into contention. Crazy. The Spectral Contortion on Oof was huge. I think if I thought more about Spectral Contortion, I could have Green Sunned first for Step and then gone for Collector Oof. I think that was probably the play if I really knew the matchup. But I thought they might have just been dead to Oof. Green White Land sounds really cool. Rough. Alright, hopefully back on the board this game. Just some loose plays. Onion Lotus. Okay. It's a pretty nice hand. Turn 1 Reclaimer, turn 2 Hold Up Reclaimer, or Swords and Crop. Guess we could also turn 2 Crop for Flagstones and then have Reclaimer online as a 3/4 as early as turn 2. Hey Lotus, that's fine. All good. Best of luck. Haha. Sorry, go and get Safekeeper. But of course, Safekeeper was taken out, so Safekeeper isn't even a creature to think about. I actually don't mind cropping here for Flagstones, untap, pay for Reclaimer, play Stage, and then just hold up the combo. Or hold up Elvish Reclaimer. Nah. I actually don't mind just playing Sylvan Library here. I'm going to assume they're on lands if they're playing main deck tab. So I don't want to show them Dark Depths in a situation where they could crop for their own stage. We do have ending for it, which is nice. Definitely a lot of lines. Kez, that's a good one. Okay, so they have their own stage. Interesting. I'm gonna crop now. Okay. Wasteland's fine. Okay. Loam? Sure. I kind of just want to pay here to dig deeper. We also get... I actually don't need the second swords. I'm going to put that back. And I think here I just want to crop for flagstones and then play Wasteland and tap Flagstone's Wasteland for Bajukabog to hit the loam. I could double Wasteland my opponent, but I think going for Flagstones and getting some play out of that is pretty nice. Land's going to be a pretty interesting matchup. I haven't played too much of the lands, green-white depths, back and forth. But it seems like a matchup where I'm pretty keen just to drop some amount of... Sure. An opposing crop is definitely something that I'm considering. Put on top, put on top. There is a world where doing it just in their upkeep is better because it makes them actually tap the mana in their turn at least. But taking them off green is pretty big here. Kind of want to save this. But the big question is why? What am I getting? Maybe just another Flagstones, to be fair. can get close to a knight here as well, which is nice. Nice. Oh, no, 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 no. Please don't restart. Please don't restart. Sometimes with Sylvan Library, if you do something weird, it'll reset the game. But a big knight here kind of makes them have to have a crop rotation into BUG. So let's hope. Okay. That Yavimaya was pretty huge for them, so being able to take them off that was pretty good. Lands. Well, I don't mind dropping on swords. I like the prismatic endings because they hit both exploration, Mox Diamond, and Valakut exploration. I definitely want the endurances. Yeah, they must have had a really tough hand. I'm not too sure what I want to drop. I definitely want to drop Dark Depths just to 1. I think this is a matchup where I'm much happier to be a mid-range deck with a combo finish. So yeah, I think it might just be something like this. Prismatic Ending's interesting, but I do like that Force is instant speed. All Force. Maybe it's just that good. You think Force will over 3rd Endurance? Interesting. My only thought for having the 3 Endurance is that we have 2 Prismatic Endings and Force of Vigor to hit their enchantments and moxes if really need be. But we only have the BUG and 2 Endurance for Graveyard Hate. And I feel like if I am wanting to play a mid-range plan, then I do want to have just incremental ways of dealing with their graveyard and turning off one loam, and then if they hit another, turning off that loam. And Saga. Okay, we'll see how this goes. Okay. Yeah, endurance having reach is a pretty big one. I'm gonna keep this. Turn 1 Reclaimer, turn 2 Library is pretty nice. Exploration's gonna be fine. There's Urza, sure. Flagstones, okay. That's pretty nice. There is a world where I would rather crop for Wasteland here and take them off their green source. But I'm okay with just building up my board of Reclaimer into Flagstones. Definitely tempting. Second Exploration is fine, as long as they don't have... something like a Loam or a Valakut Exploration. That's when it gets really, really bad. Pretty happy to crop here just to get this Sylvan Library down this turn. And also turn the Reclaimer into a 3/4. which can be big if they have Punishing Fire still in the deck. Okay. I think it's fine. What do they get with Saga? Do they play like Foundry? Retrofit a Foundry? I assume they could have like Pithing Needle, maybe some sort of Spell Bomb. Maybe some sort of Graveyard Hate. Map, okay. What does map get here? Like Tabernacle? Maybe Wasteland? Maybe Field? 2, 4, 5, 6. Maybe another Saga? Yeah, that's fair. They get Wasteland, okay. Sure. I'm pretty happy to pay here. Cast Mox, pitch the Yavimaya. I guess they already have one. Might actually be the Scrub. Yeah, Wasteland's an interesting one, especially when they have the port. I guess it does stop crop and also us sacrificing in response, but... I think here I just want to play the Reclaimer and hold up crop, so I do need double green. So I probably just want to play the Yavimaya, so I probably don't really matter if I just drop the Flagstones here. Could actually be the Windswept. I can just get there with fair beats, which is pretty nice. I guess I could have played the Scrubland, which does tap for green as well. Yeah. But having Bog up here is pretty nice. Ooh, Blast Zone's really good. Yikes. I guess they lose their explorations here, so that's actually pretty interesting. Yeah, Kez, looking back, I do like Float Green with Flagstones and then play our own to sacrifice the first one. I can't do anything here. Just resolves. But I do kind of have one piece of the combo, which is nice. Knight. That's fine. Another library. Huh. Okay, well I do get a shuffle at least with Flagstones. Hey, don't be sorry at all. It's always nice to see chat have lines that I just don't recognize straight away. I will play second library in case I want to crop in response to the second. Do get 2 looks. But opponent's only on 2 cards as well, which is kind of nice. I guess there is a reason to keep one in case of Force Negation. Force of Vigor, sorry. nothing. Sure. There's a stage and a depth. Okay. Put on top. Put on top. Yeah, it's fine. Feels like they drew a loam. Which is going to be tough. I think here I just have to crop in response. I can't hit the loam and just hope I draw into another one. Cornish internet, am I right? Delicate Exploration is very good. I will copy that port. Force of Vigor is what I'm looking for. I don't find it. It's not a great card to Wasteland here. I can take them off red, but I don't really care. I could have tried to crop into depths, yeah. Probably was the better play. Tough because we don't have a shuffle effect. I guess we can hope they play a fetch land. Double loam in the bin. They have their own endurance. Interesting. Yeah, now they have lethal next turn. If we draw a knight, it's going to be a 2/2, so even a knight's not great. Little bit too slow. I don't want to show the Force of Vigor either. I think we will just run this back. I could see a library going and the extra endurance coming in, just to keep a clock going. I do like having the extra threat as well. But yeah, I think maybe making a better decision when they went for the loam. It's just kind of muscle memory to go for BUG. But I think if I really think about it, if they only have one card in hand, and I know the 3 lands coming back to them aren't Karakas, then it probably is worth it. We'll mulligan this. Yeah, okay. I guess we keep turn 1 Yav, drop a knight. Opponent went to 6 as well. Okay, that's a start I'm more than happy to see. I think Flagstones is probably our best draw, or Mox Diamond. Prismatic Ending. Okay, so that's neither. Okay. Just want to get Flagstones here. Punishing Fire is going to be okay. Because now I get to 2 spell, which is kind of nice. I don't. Oh yeah, I do. So I can play Knight as a 3/3, or I can Prismatic Ending the Mox Diamond. I actually don't mind keeping the Mox for now. Oh, sorry, the ending. Just because if I can hit a Valakut Exploration or an Exploration, I think that's a better target than the Prismatic Ending in hand. I could get DD, but if they have Karakas, then it's pretty rough. If they have Crop Rotation, it's pretty rough. I like playing a little bit more safe. I also somewhat have the combo open here. They're going to crop for Grove. Sure. Do they have a Bog? Endurance Shuffle. That's pretty nice. Okay, well now I have Endurance Shuffle up. And Prismatic Ending. Mox. Probably happy just to cast Endurance now and put the Punishing Fire back into the deck. They only have 1 card in hand as well. So we get to untap in Green Suns for Knight here. Exploration's gonna be fine. Green Suns. Okay. I think just Green Suns for Knight here. I can sack the Flagstones tonight, which is really nice because it is a forest. 0 cards in hand for my opponent. Maybe we can win next turn with damage if we go for Knight here. Green. Sack this. Go and get Savannah. And then, what do I want here? Maybe just a Wasteland. They're going to copy something here. Copy the Wasteland, that's fine. I guess there's a world where they... I can take them off green mana here, which is interesting. I'm going to start with that. They do nothing, okay. Well, now I will sack the Evermire straight away. So now they have no green mana, so they can't hold up crop. What can they have? I don't think they can have anything here now. Fetch makes it lethal, yeah. Even just fetching here is pretty nice. Nice, okay. Interesting match. Yeah, thankfully Runafowl would have done nothing there. Because it is target player sacks a creature with flying. But yeah, Runafowl against when I'm on the depth strategy is pretty rough. Because the deck doesn't have any other flyers. So at least if you're playing like Green-White Maverick, you might have like a Birds of Paradise or a Scrib Ranger, but otherwise, Runafowl is very good. I've seen Newton playing it a lot in Legacy Elves and really enjoying it, which is pretty cool to see. But yeah, just some little gameplay mistakes that I'm making that are really adding up. That hopefully I can just get rid of. Because there will be a second league. We're definitely playing a second league. There's no way I'm going to bed with a 3-2 or even a 2-3. Don't even say it. Yeah, I mean, yeah. I'm going to keep this. I really want to draw a land, so it's a turn 1 library with a land backup. Drew an Endurance last card. Yeah, I was trying to get to a situation where I could sack the Evermire I have before you can tap any of your lands for green. But pretty tough situation. We are in lockdown. We're in lockdown as of until tomorrow night, which isn't too bad. Verdant. This definitely makes me think we're up against a fair deck. Forest. Green Suns. Okay. Maybe Elves? Yeah, we were definitely discussing that. I think I just had the tunnel vision of my opponent is going for the graveyard with Loam. I can crop for BUG here and stop that, when I sort of really thought that we have other things to do. That's pretty sweet. I don't really need the Evermire, so let's go... This is actually interesting because if I keep the Evermire and play it as my land, it means that we can turn 2 Crop Rot into the combo if we draw Dark Depths, which is kind of nice. So I think we actually ditch the planes. Ditch Plains, play Yav. Yeah, and then play Library. And this sets up us top 3ing into Dark Depths. I hope this isn't Elves. Okay. Not the worst. We do have some sideboard cards in Glacial Chasm and Teeg. And we can just try to combo them out before they can combo us. It's Mana Nerds. Shepherd. Okay. Shepherd's pretty good here. Oh, there it is. And that's exactly why we play the deck. So good. So good. To be fair, oh, they're going for a glimpse. Okay. Like, maybe there's a world where I'm supposed to actually just take the turn to crop rot into hitting Cradle with rotation, but I really want to try to just get there with Dark Depths. But it might just be too much if they go for Hoof off Natural Order. Second Cradle. Yikes. Oh, please go. I kind of hope they go for Allosaurus Shepherd here instead of even like Natural Hoof in hand would be tough. I don't want to watch. I don't want to watch. What are you doing? We have nothing. I guess we'll see what happens. We'll see how they attack. Tough. That's why you play combo decks. That's why you play combo decks. Yeah, Chasm's usually sideboard. I mean, we can make the 2020 block here, and we're still taking more than enough, unfortunately. Chasm and Teeg, I don't mind the extra prismatic endings. I'm happy to take out Endurance. Happy to take out Caracas. Happy to take out Bog. Silence is a non-creature spell, so they can still go off with creatures. They can cast like Glimpse for turn and then keep going off, which is pretty rough. Safekeep is interesting. I feel like their only interaction would be either run afoul or Assassin's Trophy on the actual land. So I think that maybe that is not worth it. Yeah. I think this is as good as I can get. They're on Nettle and not Reclaimer. Yeah, that's a good point. They could have Progenitus, but if they're going for Progenitus, I hope we can just combo faster than that. And Prismatic Ending is pretty good. Glacial Chasm buys us a lot of time against Progenitus, which is really nice. Ramanap's nice as well in case they do Assassin's Trophy the Chasm, and maybe there's a way we can get it back if they don't like end step trophy and then get back. How do we beat Force of Nature? Haha. Julian, I see you're doing well. I listened to the recent podcast of Everyday Eternal, and you said you're really enjoying Elves at the moment, which is nice. It is a lot of Nobo, but I feel like it's just needed, unfortunately. What is it? 8? 8 spells? Yeah. For what is that Scrubland? It was for the Plague Engineers in the board, but I did change this around without actually taking out... this is a mulligan. The Scrubland. But it does help with Prismatic, which is kind of nice. Okay, I actually don't mind this. It's a turn 2 library. With access to Chasm after that. But yeah, the Scrubland should just be another land. It does help, I guess, with Prismatic Ending, but I think it should just be another land. Mox is actually perfect, because now we get to hold up Glacial Chasm. I'm not sure if I want to Wasteland the Dryad Arbor here. I could Wasteland Arbor and then play Library. That keeps more something like Natural Rec Sage into Mox. Obviously keeping Wastelands for Cradles is nice, but usually Elves players are getting value off the Cradles the turns they play them, so... I don't mind slowing them down. Yeah. Especially if the library can survive, I'm pretty happy. Savannah. With Yavimaya, they can bounce the Cradles. That's very true. So I do have to look out for that interaction. That's a really good one to bring up. I think the best draw is just probably paying 8 for Elvish Reclaimer and a land, and then holding up Crop again. Sylvan Library isn't where I want to be. But there's land and Reclaimer, so put on top and pay. Glimpse is going to be okay. Korean's fine. The hero that Legacy needs. Druid's going to be sweet. It's going to bring a lot of mana to the table. Yeah, I'm a big fan of Old Border. I've definitely been the player... I mean, from my earliest time in Magic, I was the standard player that said I would never play Modern and would never even think of playing Legacy. And then I moved to Modern, but Legacy was never on the table. I'm never playing Legacy. And then I got my first dose of Legacy and I was like, I'm never playing Modern or Standard again. And then the whole thing with like foiling out a deck and then defoiling it and just getting original art. I feel like a lot of players would go along the same sort of thing. This is where it's tough, because with that hand disruption, run afoul is extremely hard, if not impossible, to play around. I mean, this is where I would like to see something like Blast Zone in the deck. Blast Zone here would be pretty sweet. Bloodstone also pretty good against the Delver decks because of all their 1-drops now. Especially those playing Ragavan, Delver, and the Dragon 1-drop 3/3. This is fine. Sending it to a friend. There we go. There is a Glacial Chasm, thank you, Lolagoyf. Black. Interesting. Decay. What are they going to decay? Mox. Okay. Float green, I guess. The question is, if they try to change phase here and go to attacks, I assume I don't have to crop. But if they do play Hoof here, then I do want to... They're going to natural order, okay. Hopefully for Oof instead of Progenitus, but you never know. I guess they could go for Archon and name Instant. That would be pretty brutal. But even then we have the Reclaimer to go and get Chasm, so it's not the worst. Cool artwork on the Visions Natural Order. Imagine if they had 2 natural orders. Yeah, that'd be pretty brutal. Especially if they go for like instant here and then just go for second natural order, but I'm gonna tell you that's the matchup in the nutshell. Yeah, I really like Tabby and Chasm, but I guess with double no, that's fine. I do need to get rid of the Archon. Over 2 turns I can do this. I probably want to use... It's actually pretty tough. Did we keep in some step? We did, okay. I'm gonna see if they return it first. They do. I'm definitely sacrificing this. I'm just wondering if I can actually take this, but probably not because Glacial Chasm is 2 life at each upkeep. So I probably want to have as much life as possible. Especially to get to the stage where I can actually get stage in play with depths. But now I have to sack a land. Pay 3? What's the 3? Oh, sorry, yeah, of course. It was asking me to take snow counters off. Now it's probably just end step, fetch into stage and then hope to draw into Dark Depths naturally. Could also go for Yav here, which allows me to use the Glacial Chasm. I actually think I'm going to go for Flagstones, untap pay, just to get to a situation where I can still keep using Revoker. And if I get Flagstones here, then if I find one piece with of the combo here, I then know what to go and get by sacking the Flagstones, which I kind of like. But I think this Chasm might just be a little bit too much. There is a world where I can get Thespian Stage and copy it with the trigger on the stack. Teeg does nothing. Yikes. Okay, so what I can do is end step, sack the Flagstones, go and get a Thespian Stage, untap, Glacial Chasm trigger on the stack. I can copy it. Hoof's gonna be fine. I don't think Elves would try the new Guy's Cradle creature just because Priest of Titania is already printed and it's a mana cheaper, which hasn't seen... I'm not sure if it's seen play, maybe like in the early days it saw play, but I haven't seen it in a while. Alright, go and get stage. Alright, so what we can do here... My only thought is, so we definitely want to copy Thespian Stage, copy Glacial Chasm here with Thespian Stage to not actually have to pay, which is kind of nice. I'm just wondering if I want to actually sack a land beforehand and get Yavimaya to then tap the Chasm for mana to use for the stage. So here I can actually just pay for it, right? Yeah. Because it just goes to 6, it doesn't go up to 8 straight away. I can also go for I think I can go to 1 because I can Green Suns here for Ramanap. I feel like this works. Ramanap, get back Dark Depths, pass, untap, copy. They do have a 2020 flyer, but we do have Sajiri Step to go and get off the Elvish Reclaimer. Scavenging Ooze would be a little tough here if they have that in the main deck. But Step is pretty good. So I don't want to see Ooze. So just looking at the board, we can untap, use 2 mana for copying. No, we don't even need to. Yeah, we don't even need to use Glacial Chasm, thankfully. Yeah, unless they play Scavenging Ooze. That's the only thing. Chasm does sack a land. That is true. They're green sunning for 1, so I'm not too sure why they're not green sunning for Ooze, unless they have another plan. Do I have to copy? They haven't played a creature. Yeah, so thankfully what we can do is untap. We can't pay for this. So that goes. Put on top, put on top. And now we can play Chasm for turn. I guess we can float a green. Play Chasm. Sack Forest. Play Reclaimer. Reclaim is pretty much free here. And now we get to pass with the combo up and Glacial Chasm in play, which is nice. I guess Ooze could also put them above 20 life, which is pretty crazy. But we do get back the. I guess if they have Ooze, then we're just dead, because we're dead to them getting life, and we're also dead to them eating the Glacial Chasm. So. I guess they could also just have Run Afoul, which is pretty tough. Tabernacle would have been pretty sweet. Interesting. Okay. Okay. Nice. Running it back, pretty happy just running back the same deck. That was a grindy one. And Lolo Goof. I do have the article in draft. I do just have to finish it. It's just on me. I've just been crazy busy. And it's been tough to be writing all day for work and then try to get together for that. But yeah, hopefully have it together soon. I apologize for the slowness of getting it out, but it should be really good. For those of you who are unaware, it's a matchup analysis between Maverick and Ninjas, which looks to be really cool. Really keen to get it out. We will keep this. What's my day job? What is my day job? My day job is SEO, which is search engine optimization, which I do for a financial comparison site, which is pretty cool. I pretty much help them rank, which is why I kind of started the Green Sun Zenith. It was a work project. Which is pretty cool. Oh, nothing? You're welcome. I'm sorry if I've taken a while to get it going. Because you did an amazing job at putting it all together. Seeing they're kind of stuck on lands, I kind of want to get aggressive with Wasteland here. This is Luke from Perth's new account. Hey Luke, welcome. I hope you're well. Yeah, I'm pretty happy to be aggressive here. Play... Yep. Yeah, Plow Search Wasteland seems really nice because I can also do it off the flagstones. I could also just go for stage, and then we can either hold up the combo or hold up Glacial Chasm, which is kind of nice. I think that might be the play. Just because they hit too... Oof, okay. Yeah, now it's stage. You're in lockdown and feeding some Japanese foil goodness? Nice. Where do you get your Japanese foils from, Luke? Where do you find you have the best options? I assume you can buy from Haruya. The black is usually for, yeah, trophies and decays, but hopefully here they just don't have it. That's pretty cool. There is a world where I should have just made the 2020 to play around Assassin's Trophy, but seeing that they had decay, I feel like they're just on decay. But I can't play around run afoul, so there's no reason not to do it in upkeep or in my turn when they're tapped out. Wow, they're just going to concede. Okay. Okay. I think the only change that I want to make, I'm just a big fan of Tabernacle, and any chance I get to run a Tabernacle, I'm pretty happy. I'm just going to take out one of the Prismatic Endings, because I think 3 is more than fine. But I am a big fan of Tabernacle. I'm going to quickly go to the bathroom and refresh, and then I will be back in a second. This is a great time to check out my YouTube channel, which is right here, which you can find. Cut the Scrubland? Yeah, thank you, I will. There we go. I'm going to add in a Misty. Nice. I'll be back in a second. Stay tuned.